and welcome to Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. My new schedule for videos is going to be Mondays and Thursdays, so make sure you please subscribe, ring the notification bell to get that notification for the next video. Today we're going to be talking about distractions, how they can affect you, both internal distractions and external distractions, because most people just think it's what you see, and you know, it's not always that way. So stick around. External distractions are obvious. You have billboards, you know, you're driving along a highway and all of a sudden there's an accident and everybody's rubbernecking, and what happens? Now these people are banging into each other. You know, even if you're paying too much attention to any one vehicle, you know, this little red car is buzzing up my side and I'm watching him, but I'm not watching the motorcycle or that's coming up on the path, on the shoulder of the road that shouldn't be there. You know, you can't allow yourself to focus on any one thing at all the time. You constantly have to be looking from mirror to mirror to mirror to mirror. And if you use your mirrors properly, you really don't have blind spots other than directly behind you. So learn to use those mirrors properly and learn to get in that habit of constantly scanning. I do it all the time. And, you know, people don't think about the things that we wind up seeing. Just billboards. Billboards are meant, they're designed to grab your attention and distract you. That's the whole point. And now that they have these electronic billboards, you get 2 or 3 distractions from the same billboard, and all different colors and lights, and you know, so there's so many things that could take your attention away from the road. You have to make sure that you're focused, and your main goal is always to not hurt anyone. You know, companies want you to protect their equipment and protect their load, but they also want you to protect the public. That's why we are professional trained drivers. That's what makes us better than the other drivers out here on the road. We should be better. If you're not better than the other drivers in those cars, shame on you. We're held to a higher standard with everything. When it comes to drinking and alcohol and, you know, having, you know, I think it's 0.04. The legal limit of being drunk is 0.08 in most states, and it's 0.04 for a trucker. You know, we're held to a higher standard. And with this, comes so much more responsibility than you have out on the road in a car. So external distractions are pretty obvious. Internal distractions are things that people don't ever even think about. You're hungry. If you're hungry and you're concentrating on your hunger, and you're just like, oh man, I'm really starving, oh man, you know, are you sitting there paying attention as much as you should be? If you're sick or you have a headache, it's distracting you. What you're feeling and what's going on inside you is distracting you. You know, if you're really that sick, then maybe you should tell them, hey, I can't do this load, or this needs to be picked up. You know, if you have a headache, make sure that you have, I've said in another video, always have a medicine cabinet. You never know when you could get diarrhea, or you could get a headache, or your allergies are going to bother you, or anything like that. So whatever you would have in your medicine cabinet back home, make sure that you have something on your truck, like a box or a bag or whatever, with all those same supplies. I wear contacts. You know, if you reach up here, look, there's my ibuprofen. Here's my sore throat spray. You know, I have things that are within reach. Here's a leaf. Wow, I must be in a lot of pain. Here's my contact solution. So make sure that you have things that are within reach, so that if you are suffering from those type of distractions, that it's not going to impede your driving. You know, have snacks up on your dash. quick things that you can just throw in your mouth. Should you be sitting there eating Oreo cookies the whole bag while you're driving? No. Every company's going to tell you no. But at the same time, sometimes, especially when you're tired and you're fatigued, sometimes the chewing is going to wake you up. People always have their cup of hot coffee. It's not necessarily just the caffeine that is going to keep you up when you're fatigued. It's the actual movement. It's the swallowing. It's even the heat from the coffee that going down your throat that's going to actually pep you up a little bit. It's not necessarily just the caffeine. So if you're not a caffeine drinker, still go for that hot tea or that coffee, if that's going to help you. Always decide what's going to help you. When you're worried about your family back home, that's an internal distraction. You're playing over in your head that fight you had with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or wife or whatever. When you're thinking about that like this and you're just zoning in front of you and you're not paying attention to who's around you, you're going to cause an accident and it's going to be your fault. So you have to make sure that you put all those type of things out of your mind, settle them before you start driving. If you're fighting with your partner, then try to make sure that you settle that and smooth it over before you start driving. Mistakes. You are going to make mistakes as a new driver. And I'll probably put this on the playlist for the rookie driver mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. If you keep reliving those mistakes in your mind, it's one thing to accept responsibility and learn from it and understand how to prevent it. That's what you should be doing. But it's something else to keep replaying it to the point where you're thinking about it so much it's distracting you. It's going to cause another accident. Learn what to do that's going to keep you awake and keep you, focused. When years ago, back in the 90s, I was part of an insurance company study where they had us in these little simulator things and they had us talking on a cell phone while we were driving to test us, and then they gave us earphones where we were listening to music, and then they also just had us drive with nothing. The people that were talking on the phone like this had more accidents, and that's back, in the 90s. It was back before the headsets and everything. But the people had more accidents, and the reason was the people had more accidents than if you were listening to a radio. The reason is that when you're involved in a conversation, that's active listening. You really have to pay attention and then actively respond. Now, when I talk on the phone, and not all companies allow you to talk on the phone. I'm pretty sure Schneider's one of them that you're not allowed to talk on the phone at all. I am allowed to use my headset. When I talk on the phone, my friends know, it's time for me to get off the interstate. I have to get off the phone because I really have to concentrate on these local roads to find this customer. Or they know I'm going to say, hold on, because this FedEx guy's coming up behind me and he's going too fast and I know he's going to cut me off. Professional drivers wind up doing that. When you're real, when you're a responsible driver, you'll do that, because what's more important right now is you not hitting something and you not killing somebody. That person on that phone can hold. And if that's a conversation that's so important, like a bill collector or your doctor or whatever, then you gotta wait until you get to a rest area or you get parked to have a conversation like that. But if you're just talking to family or friends or whatever, yes, hold on, just give me 1 second. I have to get myself out of this bad situation. That's what you should be doing, okay? And what happened in this study was they found that if you were actively on the cell phone talking, you were more likely to have an accident, or, get this, they had these little glasses on us and they were testing to see where our eyes went. And if you were not listening to the radio or not talking on the phone, your eyes would move back and forth more often than if you were listening to the radio. People listening to the radio, their eyes still tracked more than if they were actively involved in the phone. And the reason is that when you're listening to the radio, more than often than not, they're playing songs that you've heard 100,000 times before. You know it's going to come on again. You know it word for word. So you don't have to intently listen the same way that you do with a phone conversation. So that gives you a little bit of perspective about, you know, how important it is to understand not only what's going on around you, but what's going on inside you. What's going on in your head, your emotions, and, you know, you can't be having an argument with your wife. Well, what do you want me to do about that electric bill? Yeah, you're using too much electric and I don't have the money. You can't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt somebody else. Here's Goofball. Say hi, Goofball. Look up here. See? Yeah, he's hungry. And I said in another video, every time I pull the brakes, he thinks it's dinner time, and that's when he starts crying and rah, 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 rah. And we've been sitting here at Salt Lake City since yesterday, and my part is coming in tomorrow. So we haven't pulled the brakes, and he's confused. But you know, even animals can be a distraction. Even having pets, animals can be a distraction. Now, he's pretty quiet, and you know, I am a certified trainer. Prime's policy is we can't train with animals on the truck because they're distractions. So, you know, but he's old. Look at him. You know, he's like 14, and he doesn't really even jump anymore. He jumps on my bed and he cries, but you've seen him walking around in some of the videos. But if you're new, maybe an animal might be too much of a distraction for you. On truckingtruth.com, we had a woman not that long ago who said she wanted to bring her infant on the truck. I was like, an infant? Well, yeah, I want to bring him on the truck. Like, no. My advice is, if you have kids and you're a brand new driver, no. Don't bring your kids out on the road. Not until you know what you're doing and you're safe. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with that. You know, sometimes it's not even you. It's the accidents, it's crazy people that are around us. Do you trust them? Because I wouldn't trust them with my kid. And there was one woman that said that she wanted to bring her 7-year-old who had autism on the road and was going to homeschool him. You really have to think about things before you do things like that. Whether it's an animal, or which I do have a pet video, or it's a child. You know, this life is really hard for adults. I can't imagine what it would be like for a child. And while you're up driving, that kid is going to be bouncing around. Some customers will not allow kids on the property. Some customers won't allow pets on the property. So if you have a dog, you might not be able to walk them on the property. You know, where is a kid going to play? You know, what if you're driving and the kid is with you up all day, then he's going to be distracting you. If he's sleeping while you're driving, then when you're parked, he's going to be up. I'd have to set up some kind of security device or something to make sure the child didn't get out of the truck in the middle of the night. I mean, that's me. I know people are like, oh, well, I do it. I don't see what the big deal is. My reaction to that is, it's an occupational decision that I make every day to drive this truck, knowing that there could be some wild, crazy accident where I could roll the truck, somebody could slam into me, I could, you know, burst into a ball of flames. I couldn't put my child through that. You know, this is not home. I said this in another video too. This is a commercial vehicle. this is a job. And I might make it look cute and make it look pretty, like with this picture, putting the curtains up that match my sheets. But, you know, that doesn't mean that this is not a job. It doesn't mean this life is easy. It's not easy for everybody. I enjoy it. I love it. I can't imagine. It's so hard for me to imagine going back to another job. I've been thinking about, well, I've been on the road for a while, and maybe I should like move to Springfield to my company and get an in-house job and have more of a normal life. But then with that comes real work and real jobs. Like, they'd expect me to be there from like 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night or something like that. And I'd have to go to lunch at a certain time every day. And like, I don't have that. I wake up and I drive till I feel like stopping, and then I drive some more, and then I stop and I eat and drive some more. And you know, it's just, it's a whole different way of life. But part of that way of life is making sure that we don't get distracted by animals, by kids, by the general public, by idiot drivers, you know. Otherwise, we could kill somebody. So, I hope you enjoyed my video today. Please like, comment, subscribe, ring the little notification bell, and I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye!